Hey folks, Professor Finn here, and today we're going to continue our studies of restorative art, and we're going to do that by looking at modeling wax. Before we get into that, take a moment to like, share, subscribe the video, share the video on your social media, drop something in the comments below, let me know where you're going to school or where you are listening from. Quick disclaimer, this is an old lecture, not a lot of pictures, especially on this one. So just be aware this is not up to my usual standard. And let's go ahead and get the screen shared and talk about modeling wax. Let's go ahead and grab the pen. So first thing is, wax has evolved over the decades, and special wax for funeral use was developed in the 1920s. Current characteristics of the wax that we use is, one, it has to be able to adhere to tissue. If it doesn't stick to tissue, it's kind of a problem for us. Has to be pliable at room temperature. It has to be able to take cosmetics well, and it has to reflect light similar to skin. Otherwise, it would look off. So what are the types of wax that we use? Well, the first is a firm wax, also known as wound filler. This wax is used to fill large cavities or model features. Conducive to use this wax is a warm environment, which means you will want to use some type of device or have the ambient temperature warmer than normal, because you need to be able to use the stuff, model the stuff, but then once it gets back to room temperature, it will be solid enough to not lose its shape. You have medium wax, also known as dermasurgery wax. It is used as a restorative wax. Once again, a warm environment is conducive to using this for surface restorations. A cold environment is conducive to using this wax for deep wound filling. So once again, firm wax, this stuff, once it hardens up, it's not going to budge 99% of the time. Think of something like a candle. Medium wax, this is going to be slightly more pliable, okay? So a warm environment, once again, will help you shape the wax, but then you also want to try to keep it in a cooler environment so that it stays firm. You have soft wax, also known as surface restore. It is a soft, pliable wax used to fill shallow depressions. It's conducive to use this wax for surface restoration in a cold environment. This is really pliable stuff. If it is in a warm environment, chances are pretty good that even the slightest manipulation is going to cause problems for you because it's going to alter the shape of the wax. And then lip wax. This is a very soft wax. It's usually tinted, and it's used to correct lip separations and surface mucous membranes. So firm wax. We can use it to recreate facial features, we can fill large cavities, and we can use it to model features. It will hold its shape once molded. It is the least adhesive of the different waxes, and a basket weave suture is used as a base for reconstruction. So what you're going to want to do there is, if you're unfamiliar with a basket weave, you are going to be taking a needle along with your ligature, and you are going to form crisscross lines. You're probably going to end up melting this wax, placing it in the open area. It will fill over the ligature, and when it hardens, the ligature is kind of going to serve as rebar to hold things in place. Firm wax can be used for cavity filling, and you are to fill whatever you are trying to fill about 1/4 inch from the surface. The reason is, you're going to use this to create the base layer, the unmoving hard part, and then on top you're going to use different wax in order to recreate your feature, texture, skin, whatever it is you're trying to do. Next up, we have medium wax, also known as dermasurgery wax. It is softer than firm wax and can be used as a substitute in a pinch. It adheres to tissue relatively well. It holds its shape once molded, and it is easily softened by manipulation in the hand or using a hair dryer. Hair dryers have multiple uses in the funeral service world, and warming wax for manipulation is one of them. There are some people who will try to use a heat gun, a tool that you can purchase at a tool store. You can get away with that, but you have to be very careful. Those get really hot, and I don't recommend that you use that instrument unless you are very skilled with it, because it gets way too hot for our uses. When warmed, it can be smoothed to a very fine layer, and you are going to want to smooth it or feather it into the surrounding area so it blends in. It is suitable for shallow surface restoration. We have soft wax. This is applied in a very thin layer. It's suitable for minor abrasions, razor burns, suture incisions, and surface layer of deep wax restoration. It can be used as a lip wax, and it accepts cosmetics very well. Pores can be recreated without damage to the wax. It can also be used to seal punctures, and it is manufactured in various skin colors. Last up, we have lip wax. It is the most adhesive of the waxes. It is translucent, but usually tinted in warm hues because it is going to be going over the mucous membranes of the mouth. Can be mixed with cosmetics, but be aware when you add cosmetics to your waxes, they will become even more pliable. So the more cosmetic you add, the more likely it is that that wax is going to become soft and pliable. You can use lip wax to recreate surface contours on mucous membranes. You can use it to correct lip separation due to dehydration. And applying a small end to the line of closure on the mouth can create the illusion of a shortened line of closure. So, what do you need to have before you start playing with wax? And the moral of the story to all restorative art techniques: dry, firm, well-embalmed tissue. What is the prerequisite to put on cosmetic? Dry, firm, well-embalmed tissue. Everything hinges on dry, firm, well-embalmed tissue. If you have head trauma, restricted cervical injection is useful. If you are unfamiliar with restricted cervical injection, jump over to the embalming playlist and learn about some injection techniques. But suffice to say, restricted cervical means you are injecting the head separate than the body, and you'll be using both carotid arteries to accomplish that. And it says the head should be injected with an astringent or dehydrating or strong solution. You want the head to embalm well, and you might have to do that with a minimum amount of fluid. Wait 8 to 10 hours after arterial injection for reconstruction, and the reason for that is simple. You want to make sure that the embalming actually took. If the embalming didn't take, you're not going to have dry, firm, well-embalmed tissue. So for small areas and abrasions, use of cavity fluid injections or a phenol solution will help dry and firm the area, so use cavity or phenol packs. Apply adhesive or other sealer to prevent further leakage, and wax is then applied over the sealer. Rule of thumb, if you are trying to embalm or preserve an area, use cavity fluid. If you're trying to sear or cauterize an area, use phenol. Those are kind of the rules of thumb, as which one would you use in a certain situation. Most modern chemicals will accomplish both things at the same exact time, and one of my favorite mixes is to take an autopsy gel, mix it with a little bit of cauterant, carbolic acid, phenol, stir it up until it's well blended, and it does both things at once. So there are the three most common methods of application is cosmetics under wax, cosmetics mixed with wax, and cosmetics over wax. Those are quite literally the only three that you can do if you are working with wax. So you're either going to put on the cosmetic and cover it with wax, you're going to mix the cosmetic with the wax, which, reminder, it is going to become softer, and then there is you apply the wax and then you cosmetize over it. So cosmetics under wax must be liquid or a water-based cream. The choice is made by intensity of discoloration. In sprays or water-based cream usually cover better than liquids. One way you can kind of wrap your mind around this is if you're putting cosmetic under your wax, you probably have severe discoloration in an area and you're wanting to put a base color, whatever that color might be. Some people will use white and do a complete cosmetic restoration with ornamental cosmetics. And then you will put wax over that and go from there. These cosmetics will dry sufficiently to allow wax to be applied over them. Oil-based creams will not dry as sufficiently. So if you're going to cosmetize first and then put wax on, you really want to be using water-based or liquid-based creams, not oil-based. Once the cosmetic is dried, wax applied over the undercoat, it is worked from center to edges and feathered over the sound tissue. So you're placing it over the damaged spot, and then you are going to feather it, smooth it into the surrounding tissues, which will help anchor it in place. Use a wax solvent and a brush to smooth edges, and then recreate skin texture, markings, and color. If you are mixing cosmetics with wax, liquid or creams can be mixed. A sufficient amount of wax is taken and mixed. It is near impossible to match if you do not make enough the first time. What is the moral of this story? Make more than you need, okay? One of the stereotypes for Italian families is they don't know how to cook for 2 people. If you go visit Grandma, Grandma's going to make you a snack. Grandma's going to be able to feed the entire battalion. So here's the thing. When you are making your wax and you're mixing it with cosmetics, you want to make more than you think you need, because if you run out, chances are going to be pretty good. You're going to have a very difficult time trying to remix that wax with cosmetic to match the stuff you have already made. Begin lighter and add cosmetic, as you cannot take away cosmetic easily. Apply wax once matched and then recreate skin texture and markings. Cosmetics over wax, apply your wax, recreate skin texture and markings, and lightly brush cosmetic over the surface. So what happens if you need to alter the wax? Well, if you want to soften wax, you can manipulate it in your hand and let your body heat do the work. You could add cream cosmetic, you could add massage cream or petroleum jelly. And if you add petroleum jelly, it's also going to make it more sticky. You can place it under warm water. I am not a fan of that one personally. You can also hold it under a hair dryer. I've used the hair dryer. If you need to firm wax, well, it's easy. Make it colder. Place it in refrigeration. You can mix in a little bit of cornstarch, talc, or pigment powder. That will also help firm it up by drying it out. And lastly, firming of tissues, hypodermic injection or surface compresses of cavity fluid, arterial fluid, or phenol will help you firm an area up. Again, if you're trying to preserve an area, cavity fluid is the best one for that. Arterial fluid, if you are absolutely in a pinch, and even then if you're using an arterial fluid, you want to pick the fluid that has the least amount of active dyes, because it is going to stain like nothing else. And phenol can be used as well. Phenol will dehydrate/burn the area. So if you are looking to stop leaking, phenol is your go-to. That concludes this lecture, folks. So once again, take a moment to like, share, subscribe, click that notification button, drop something in the comments below, let me know how I'm doing or where you're from, and we will see you next lecture.